right? So based on that, like same, like how will you know that you got the COVID or Corona in biological basis? How will you know that you got the COVID? Symptoms, right? Like you'll have some symptoms. Based on that, we'll conclude that we got some virus. Same here also, based on the activity, the system activities. It conclude that your system got affected. Okay, so that is how the things work here. And again, you have different types of uh, viruses here. Like again, types of malware. In that one type of malware is virus. Again, in virus, we have different types of viruses. Each virus has their own functionality. Okay, like for example, if you take this, what you can say, stealth virus, which is try to be undetectable for a period of time, or boot sector virus, means it will try to corrupt your boot program, means which will corrupt your operating system, or logic bomb virus, which will be scheduled based on the activity, or polymorphic virus. So most of the time they'll ask you about the polymorphic virus. It is a kind of virus which every time it changes the signature by encrypting itself. Okay, so it will be being undetectable for a period of time. It will try to be, and there is a fat uh, file systems viruses will be there, email based viruses will be there, or add-on or intrusive viruses will be there, web based viruses will be there, metamorphic viruses will be there. Like that, you can see different types of viruses, and every virus have their own functionality. You're getting my point? For example, if I take the boot sector virus, it will only corrupt the boot process or boot managers. Stealth virus, it will be a clustered based tunneling kind of viruses, you can say. And logic bombs are kind of a viruses where it will be scheduled accordingly. That means it triggered by a response to an event. So launching of an application or when a specific data time is reached, it will launch each activity. Okay, like that it will be there. And polymorphic virus where it will try to be encrypted, means every time means uh, it encrypt a copy of polymorphic code which is already decoded by the decryption module. So it modifies their code for each replication to avoid a detection. So to avoid the detection, every time it will be uh, like try to be encrypt itself or change the signature of that file every time when it is replicating itself to another one. Right. So for that it will try to be detected undetected for period of time here. Okay. So polymorphic mechanisms uses the random number of generations in their implementation scenario. Okay. So like that, we have different types of viruses will be there. So if you see some basic viruses will be there, like if you Google it about the notepad viruses or anything. So if you see there are so many notepad viruses, you can see basic level I'm showing for you. So you can see there are many, but don't try them. Make sure be careful while making or maintaining the things. So here you can see some basic notepad based viruses. Let me write a virus. So echo of some X I'm giving MD. MD is nothing but make directory random, make some random directories and go to X, means create a loop. So now if you see here, let me save this, Control X. I'm creating my own file here. This is a basic notepad virus I have created. So be careful while it won't do that much harm here, but yeah, but you can see the impact of that. Let me save this with the bat file. Bat is nothing but a bat script. Save that and let me open that file. Just observe what it do. Can you see it started creating the directories? So within seconds, how many directories it created here? Can you see at the bottom at this point? Still creating. Until I stop this process, it will creating the directories. See, this is a basic one. Means a basic virus I took here because I don't want to make complications to my device here. So I just created a basic. Just I need to stop that. So see, if you observe within seconds, how many directories it created? Can you see that? How many directories it created? Around 16K. It is an empty directories only. What if I make a code which have to add the data also? It's an empty folder only. What if I create the folders with the data? What happened? Your storage will be full. So once the storage got full, what happened? Your system will be crashed. So that is how things work here. It's a basic code. Can you see? See, virus again, it's a program, it's a code only, right? So here you can see there are many different types of codes where it will delete the registry. What is the registries here? What is the meaning of registries here? Any idea? No, not logs things. Registries are nothing but the system configuration files. Your system configuration has been implemented through this registry server. You can go to the Windows, or if you click on edit, if you click on that, so you can see these are all the registries on it. Once if you click on this Windows button, it is opening the Windows. If you click on settings, it is opening the settings, right? So all these things are configured in this registries only. So most of the malware creators that target these registries only. Why they target the registries? In the sense to malfunction your system. If I change any value for this particular registry, it start malfunctioning. It start malfunctioning means your system will be malfunctions or your system will be corrupted. So that is why they target or modifies these registries only. So you can delete that registries. If I delete the registries, what happened? Your system performance will be degraded and start working for that, right? And even it crash PC forever with the notepad viruses. You can see. So like this is a code, you can write it, say with the dot batch, or even you can shut down your PC a million times. You can do that. Delete the system32 folder where it will corrupt the entire system. Format the drive in 3 seconds. Just send that. If they open that, automatically format the drive. Like that, there are many powerful programs. So be careful while going with this or while pranking on your friends. Be careful. So it's very important to remember what the activities they are performing. Accordingly, make sure to work out on them. Right. So there are many programs you can see. So this is how your virus works. So can you see where it is? Which one? I didn't get that. Hmm. Like that you have registry. Registries are here. You can go with this re-editor, and here you can see the registries. So means every activity will be configured. Your system, like users, your user activities, or your local machine, hardware, software, system, services, everything will be configured here only. So if you delete any of these services, it start working. It stops working the service. So that is why they target the registries every time, the hackers. I'll show you that in malware analysis. So this is how the virus and worms work. Is that clear, everyone? The virus and worms. So the major difference is where they'll ask you. Remember, in interview basis, they'll ask you. So try to remember where virus requires a predefined action. When it comes to the worm, no need of any predefined action. It self-replicate, execute, and spread across the network propagations. That is what it do. Okay. And next, we can go through the Trojan. So, what is Trojan? Anyone? Any idea about the Trojan? Have you heard about the Troy War? Have you heard about the Troy? The word Trojan taken from that particular war itself, Troy. There is a war between the Greek and Troy. Trojan Greek, yeah. Trojan War. Even if you remember the Trojan War, so there is a big house. Inside that house, they'll hide the things. So it is a war for a woman. Yeah, exactly. So, according to ancient Greek mythology, the Greeks owned the Trojan War with the aid of a giant wooden horse that was built to hide their soldiers. So actually, there is a war between the Troy and Greek. So where Troy got means they won the war actually for the first time, but later the Greek sent the horse as a greeting. Means Greek left this horse in front of the gates of Troy, and the Trojan that the horse was means the Troy thought that the horse was a gift from the Greeks, so which they had left before apparently withdrawing from the war and brought it into their city. Later at night, the Greek soldiers broke out of this wooden horse, came out of the wooden horse, and opened the city gates and led the rest of the Greek army inside and destroyed the city of Troy and took the control of that city. So that is how the things happened actually. Means the Troy thought that they're greeting the victory by gifting this horse, but actually they don't know that inside this horse there are hidden soldiers. So later at night, the soldiers came out of from this horse and opened the Troy gates and led the Greek army inside and destroyed that complete city and took the control of that city. Means here they created a trust here. Okay. So here also the Trojan, this type of malware was inspired by this story only. So inspired by this story, a computer Trojan, which is nothing but a program, so in which malicious or harmful code is contained inside the harmless program or data. Means the program or the data look like legitimate. It look like a legitimate only. But once you open that file or once you run that file, it will drop a malware in your system without your knowledge. So that is what the means same like it look like a hidden horse, but inside that horse there are soldiers. Same, it look like a legitimate application. Inside this application, they embedded with some malware. So that is why they call this as a Trojan. Got it, my mind? So Trojan, it is a program. Again, it is a program of which the malicious or harmful code is contained inside an apparently harmless program or data. So which can later gain the control and cause the damage. So again, to get the control, it need to perform some predefined action. It perform predefined action. Remember, Trojan get activated when a predefined action is performed by the user. Predefined in the sense you need to click that. And మీరు click చేస్తే అది execute అవ్వదు Trojan అనేది. So Trojan will get executed by performing predefined actions here. Got it? And what will be the indication of the Trojan? Simple. Even if you turn on your Windows also, means Windows Defender, automatically it disable that. Means if you're trying to enable this, but after a while again it is disabling that. Means that is an indication where the Trojan got infected. Means it will try to turn off your security control systems and even abnormal activities. Means abnormal system and network activities here and redirecting to some unknown pages or opening some websites or deleting the files or creating the files. So these are the things it happens, or destroying the files or establishing the remote connections. So all these things performed by the Trojan, one of the powerful malware, which is Trojan. So Trojan is nothing but a malicious or harmful code here. So which is contained inside an apparently harmless program or data. So which can later gain the control and cause damage. And Trojans get activated by performing some predefined action. And the indication of Trojan is abnormal system or network activities. And the Trojan creates the command and control channel between the victim computer and the attacker for transferring the sensitive data. Means, as I mentioned, where worm is not giving any control of your system to the attacker, or even your virus is not giving any control of the, means not giving any access, control access to any other, or to the malware creator. But Trojan gives the, so Trojan, obviously it will give the access to the attacker, where it will try to establish the connection, the target systems. So that is how the Trojan works here. Okay, so Trojan is a wrapped within an or a legitimate applications or programs. So when it looks like same a legitimate program, but it contains some malware inside that, when you open that, it will drop the file and got executed, triggered, and give the access to the malware creator. That is how the Trojans work. And here also you have different types of Trojans, like a remote access Trojan, we call that as a RAT, or a backdoor Trojan, or botnet Trojan. Right. Yeah, Arun, try to mute yours. So again, we have different types of Trojans here. So we have remote Trojans, or backdoor or botnets, or e-banking Trojans. So completely that depends on the banking and collect this some sensitive information. E-banking or rootkit Trojans. Like that, we have different types of Trojans here. Okay. So yeah, Trojan is a type of malware. Again, in Trojan also we have different types of Trojans. Again, each and every Trojan has their own functionalities. Like I have shown for the viruses. So there is a polymorphic virus which will be encrypted every time when it replicate, or once it changes signatures. There is boot sector virus which it will corrupt only the boot processor or boot files. Like that, there are different types of malwares, and in that again, each malware has their own functionality, and each malware has their different types of services again, right? So like that, for Trojan also you have different types of Trojans here, right? So Trojan is nothing but which look like a legitimate, but it contains some malicious activity in the backend. Okay, that is what the Trojan do. And then what is this ransomware? Any idea? The ransomware. Have you heard about the ransomware before? Anyone? The type of malware, sir. So, I know it's a type of malware. What it do? Mm. It steals the data. See, ransomware never steals the data or never establishes the connection. It just restrict the access to your files. When simply it will encrypt your files. For example, let me show you images here. You'll get a mail like this. Okay, you'll get a mail like this saying that this is your weekend payment repentant advice. So this is a file. So your statement is attached. Please, means this is how they confuse you. So once you open this file or run that, it will drop a ransomware in your system, and that ransomware will corrupt all your files. Means it will change the file signature. Can you see? This is how it looks like. So now means this is all your files actually. This is all your files inside your system. Now to access these files, you can't able to access them. To access that file means it is an encrypted. So to access this file again you need to go with the decryption key. So you don't have the decryption key. So to get the decryption key, what you need to do is you need to pay money, which we called as a ransom. Ransom is nothing but money. Got my point? So a ransomware is nothing but it's a type of malware where that restricts the access to a computer system's file or folders. So to access that files or folders, you need to pay pay the money. So one of the biggest ransomware attack, as I mentioned, is WannaCry attack. WannaCry attack. So almost 150 countries got affected with this ransomware. It happened in 2017, May 16th or 17th, something around. And it went with this pop-up. Can you see? So once your system got affected with the ransomware, they'll go with the pop-up messages saying that your files are encrypted. To access your files, you need to pay the money. How to pay this money is a bit currency. Cryptocurrency they use, again, around $600, they'll ask you to pay for that. Okay, so once the ransomware got installed in your system, automatically it will encrypt all your system files, or it locks your system. To unlock your system or to unlock your files, you need to pay money. Okay, so now tell me, as a security analyst, as a security analyst, how you're going to deal with this? Just what you do here. Your system got affected with ransom, means you're not able to access the files. What you'll do now? Anyone? Maintain the backup. Okay. The best solution is backupping your files. You can't do anything. Just see. If you go with the ransomware, for example, if your system got affected with ransomware, you can't do anything to finally sign. Means the files will be encrypted. To decrypt that, you need to get the key. So key in the sense again, you need to go with the mathematics. You need to analyze what algorithm they use, and accordingly, you have to build the key decryption key. It's not an easy. You should be pro in maths in that scenario. So we can't do anything. Or else you need to look for what is the file format of an extension. So it's a tar file. So now we'll go to the Google and we'll look for is there any decryption tool for that particular tar file extension. We'll look for that, what kind of variant of malware it is what kind of variant or ransomware it is. Accordingly, we'll try to find the execution or decryption tools. There is a website called No More Ransom. So you can just visit this website. Here you can see there is some decryption tools. Click on the scroll. Here it will show you all the existing ransomware keys tools. So for example, your ransomware is Chemery ransom. You can download that and you can install that and you can upload the files, whatever the files got encrypted, and you can decrypt them. But most of the time, the attackers use the latest version of ransomware, and you won't have any decryption service available in online. For example, imagine Chemery ransom got in around 2015 or 2016. So it is an old. So if your system got affected with this older ransomware, then you can easily decrypt them. But what if it is the latest one? Will the decryption tool is available? No, right? We need to create our own decryption. Second, it will be difficult. So make sure go with the backup. So backupping of your files. So whenever you affected with this ransom, immediately you can delete or reinstall that operating system and go with the backup of your files. So that is why the organization go with the backup. Got it? Got my point? Is that clear, everyone? So ransomware, it is a kind of a malware where it will restrict access to the system. Which type of ransomware in the sense, as I mentioned, that is what here you'll get the extension file formats. Like for example, this is a tar, right? Here you can see the file extension. Can you see that? This files, everything is encrypted with this kind of thing. So when I go with the Google and if I look for the tar file extension scenario, if you see that I'm getting some information related to this T.THOR. You can see Tor is a new variant of low-key ransomware. Can you see that? So a developer spread this ransomware via spam emails and encrypts your files. So like this, same thing which I'm having there. So 3BDC price decryption tool, and they'll tell you to use these kind of things. But don't go with these tools, free tools again, or paid tools also. It won't work. It won't work. It's waste of time. Better go with the backup. So backup is the best solution for these kind of attacks. So don't wait until the attack happens. So make sure to maintain some backups. So whenever you got affected with these kind of things, you can easily reinstall that operating system. And next time to avoid these kind of attacks, use some good antiviruses. Why? Because you don't know how these malwares will enter into your system. Most of the time, they use a propagation called email. Through emails only they'll enter. Through that files, whatever the attachment files you're downloading are opening through that only they'll trigger your system. So be safe while downloading or clicking on the links. Got it? Is that clear, everyone? Mm, all right. So next we have rootkits. So what is this rootkits are? Any idea about the rootkits? So rootkits mostly they damage your hardware bases. Once they deeply dive into your systems, okay, they'll maintain some persistence. So persistence in the sense, even if your system got installed in your, even if you restart your system, this malware will be installed in your. Even if you restart or fat reset, also this rootkits will be stored into your system. Uh, like it's kind of a flashy viruses or ransomware where that announces their presence. Okay. So same like that also, it completely take the control over your system without even realizing it. Without you even realizing it, it takes the control of the complete system. Means it go deep into your computer system and establish the persistence, hidden access and everything. Means it mostly corrupt your system files and take the full control of your system. Even if you reset also, that will start again without any predefined actions. right? Means it gives a deep access, means it targets the core of the operating systems, often installing themselves at the kernel level. So they'll install at the kernel level into the systems. So based on that only, it grants the privileges access and ability to hide their presence from the traditional security softwares. So because of that only, they're able to get in inside the systems without being detectable. And as you know, rootkits will have the persistence, where even if you reboot or other attempts to removal or making them difficult to eradicate, also it will be restart again, right? So there are different types of rootkits you can see, like a memory rootkits, file system rootkits, memory rootkits, or even bootkits. So bootkits, in the sense, it affects the boot sector of a hard drive and loading themselves before the operating system even starts. That is what the bootkits do. And memory rootkits, in the sense, it resides in the computer memory, making them harder to detect and leaving no traces on the disk. And file systems is nothing but manipulating the file system to hide the malicious files and processes in the target system, right? So if you want to go through some of the rootkit malware, so you can see this uh, Stuxnet in 2010 it happened, or Flame in 2012. Powerful rootkits actually. So these complex rootkits targeted the Middle Eastern countries, stealing data and spying on users. So it demonstrated the ability to spread literally across networks and modify itself to evade the detection. That is what they do. And how you can protect yourself from these rootkits, in a sense, keep your operating system and application up to date. Means you need to update your systems. The first thing is updating your applications and your operating system with the latest security patches. And next thing is use reputable antiviruses and anti-malware solutions with the rootkit detections capabilities. And consider using the system integrity and monitoring tools to detect the unauthorized changes, and even uh, implement some IDS and IPS services, which is intrusion detection systems and intrusion prevention systems on firewall basis. And make sure be aware while downloading the software from unknown sources. From unknown sources. Remember that. So be cautious about the downloading software from untrusted sources or from unknown sources. So based on this only, you can able to protect yourself from these rootkits. Okay. And rootkits are often used in conjunction with the malwares. So creating a more complex and difficult to remove that. And new rootkits variants emerge frequently and highlighting the importance of staying informed about the latest cyber threats. Okay. So make sure they directly dive into the systems in kernel part and make themselves to being undetectable for a period of time by migrating into the known applications. So similar to this, we have another malware called fireless malware, but they won't go in detail, but they'll try to migrate into the frequently running application, fileless malware. Have you heard about this malware before? Fileless malware. So nowadays, it is becoming more popular here. So what this do is simple. It is also known as non-malware. Okay, uh, where it infects the legitimate or frequently running applications in your system. Okay, means for example, in your system, what are the frequently running applications? What are the frequently running applications? Or what are the system applications? Mm. Browsers, uh, you have PowerShell. See, they are frequently running applications, or the system applications at least. Mails. So see, your system frequently running applications are like PowerShell, Microsoft, or Adobe PDF Reader. These are the system files, and even your JavaScript files or Windows management instrumentation, .NET files. These are the frequently running applications in your system. So actually, these fileless malware will resides into your system's RAM. In your system's RAMs, they'll reside. They'll reside in your system's RAM. They select the volatile memory services only. They select the volatile memory services only, and it resides in the system RAM, and it injects the malicious code into the running processes like your Microsoft Word, Adobe Reader, or these .NET services. Why? In the sense, as you know, they consider that means why they go with these things in the sense while they'll inject only in these services in the sense like your what the thing is your antivirus or any anti-malware solutions, they thought that these are frequently running applications, so there is not much impacted services, so they avoid checking with these services. So on that basis only, they'll try to migrate into this service. Okay. Right. So why, in the sense, why they migrate into these frequently running applications in the sense, as I mentioned, trustworthy, you can say. These are frequently running applications or trusted tools, right? So your security tools incorrectly assume that such tools are running for the legitimate purpose, so it won't detect these things, or it won't scan these things. It even these scanning services to these particular applications, right? So on that basis only, they'll use this fileless malware to be undetectable for period of time here. Got it? So fileless malwares are nothing but a non-malware here, so which infects the legitimate software, applications, and other protocols existing in the system to perform the various malicious activities. And these type of malware existing the vulnerabilities to infect the system, and it generally resides in the system RAMs to inject it malicious code into the processes that are running frequently, like your Word, PDF, or .NET or JavaScript services. And why they do in the sense, your security tools assume that these tools are legitimate, so they won't detect this as a malicious. Means the legitimate purpose only they are using these services, so it avoid detecting that services. So that is what the fileless malware do. Got it? And even it does not depend on the files and leaves, and it does not leave any traces here. So making it difficult to detect and remove using the traditional anti-malware solutions for this tool. Okay, that is what the fileless malware do. Clear, everyone? So like that, we have different types of malwares here. Like we have botnets also. So what is botnet? Botnets are the compromised devices. The compromised devices. So mostly you can see botnets in DOS and DDoS attacks. DOS and DDoS attacks, distributed denial of service or distributed sorry, denial of service or distributed denial of service attacks. So in this only you can see these particular botnets. For example, I hacked your system. Now you are my bot. Okay. And using your system, I'll perform another attack. Means I'm involving your system to perform some other activities or frauds. So now your system is acting as a bot for me. Okay, so a botnets are nothing but the compromised network or compromised devices here. Like if you see the robot movie, so there are many robots, right? So where the main guy will give the command and the commands are executed by these bots. So same here also, the attacker perform the attacks using these botnets. So we'll go in detail about botnets in DOS and DDoS time. I'll let you know how these things work in there. Okay. So these are the some different types of malwares we have. Is that clear, everyone? The different types of malwares. Is that clear? Sorry. All right. So next we have a malware analysis. So what is malware analysis? Anyone? What is the use of this malware analysis? Anyone? Sorry for that. Uh, it's not type of malware. Malware analysis is a process. Mm, see, malware analysis is nothing but for example, there is every day there are thousands of malwares or lakhs of malwares are creating a new malwares, right? Yeah. Uh, to know means to know the origin of the malware, from where we are getting that, and to know the functionality of malware, what it do, and to know what is the potential impact of that malware. So why we are doing malware analysis in a sense? Yeah, to study of a unique features exactly. So to make these unknown malware to known one, known malware by analyzing them. Okay. So malware analysis, it is a process of reverse engineering. It is a process of reverse engineering a specific piece of malware to determine the origin, functionality, and even potential impact of that given malware. You getting my point? So as you know, attackers use the sophisticated malware techniques as the cyber weapons, where to steal the sensitive data. So the malware can inflict intellectually and financial loss on the target, and regardless of whether it is an individual or a group of people or an organization, maybe anything, they perform that attack. So moreover, it spreads from one system to another with ease and is healthy nature. So to analyze them, we perform the malware analysis. So it is a process of reverse engineering a specific piece of malware to determine its origin, functionality, and the impact of that malware. So by performing these malware analysis, one can extract the detailed information about the malware. And malware analysis is an integral part of any penetration testing process. Is that clear? That is what we call as a malware analysis. And why malware analysis? Anyone? Why malware analysis? Is that clear, everyone? What is malware analysis? You can extract the detailed information about the malware. That is what we are performing the malware analysis. Why malware analysis? In the sense to determine what exactly happened with that malware, to determine the malicious intent of the malware, to determine or identify the malicious activities, or even identify the IOCs, indicators of compromise, even to identify the exploited vulnerability, catch the preparator responsible for installing the malware, and find the signatures for the host and network-based intrusion detection systems, or even evaluate the harm from an intrusion. Like that, there are many reasons we have, right? And even you can find the vulnerabilities that system that the malware has exploited. So the most common business questions answered by this malware analysis are: what is the intention of the malware? They'll ask you, and how did it get through? Okay, and what is the impact on the business? And who is the preparators? And how good they are? And how to abolish this malware, and what is the losses, how long has the system been infected with this malware, and what is the medium of the malware, or what is the preventive measures. So to know, these are the common, means most common business questions answered by the malware analysis by doing the malware analysis. Okay, so the guideline for the malware analysis is: during the malware analysis, you should pay attention to the essential features instead of understanding every detail, and try different tools and approaches to analyze the malware and identify, understand, and defeat the new malware analysis prevention techniques. So for that, you have two types of malware analysis. One is static malware analysis and dynamic malware analysis. So can anyone tell me what is static malware analysis? Any idea? Hmm. Static is nothing but code analysis. Static malware analysis is also known as code analysis. Dynamic malware analysis is also known as behavioral analysis. Static analysis is nothing but here simple. Without executing means, for example, I have sent a file to you. Without opening that file, you need to check whether the file is malware or not by examining their code. By examining their code, that process we called as a static malware analysis. And dynamic malware analysis in the sense, by uh, observing, means by observing their activities, means what's happening in the behavioral, in the sense by executing, will check means what it is infecting in our system. You got my point? Static is nothing but here we are doing a code analysis, means here we are not executing the file. Without executing the file, we need to get whether the file is malware or not. That is what the static malware analysis. Dynamic malware analysis is nothing but behavior analysis, means here the execution will be involved in that, and once the system got executed, we'll see the infect, means how it interacts with the host system, and what is it impacting on the system after this installation, what it is doing. So based on that, we'll analyze. So these are the two categories we have: static and dynamic. So static is code analysis, dynamic is behavior analysis. Here, without execution, we need to get to know whether the malware is, whether the file is malware or not. This is without execution, you need to give that. This is with execution, means we have to execute that on the target system and check what it is doing in our system, which files it is corrupting, in which path it is storing, what services it is running. what tools it downloaded. All these things we need to check by installing them in the target system. So it is recommended that both static and dynamic analysis to be performed and to obtain a detailed understanding of the malware functionality. So to understand the detailed functionality of the malware, you need to go with the both the things. Got it? Is that clear, everyone? Static and dynamic malware analysis. Is that clear? Right? So we'll do that, the static and dynamic malware analysis in the next session. Okay, I'll show you in practical. So we'll do that in next session, the static and dynamic malware analysis. Right? So before coming to the next session, just take the task. Yeah, Vijay. Here we are not providing any major projects here. It's internship related projects will give that. So that will be handled by the team. They'll update you. Okay. So here we are going with cybersecurity. If you have any cybersecurity related things, you can do that. But we are not going with the major things. It's an internship based projects we are doing. Okay. It will be a mini projects kind of thing. Okay. Yeah. uh, Actually, I'm not feeling well, guys. So we'll continue the thing in next session. So before coming to the next session, just go through this. See what are the types of malwares. Just go with the types of malwares, everyone. See what are the different types of malwares we have. Go each and every malware. Do that. And next thing is check what is APTs. So see what is advanced persistent threats, and next what we have. Go with this fileless malware, and see what is sandbox in malware. Find open source sandboxes. Okay, and then go with what is malware analysis, and types of malware analysis. Okay, so this is your task for the next session. So just go through this, everyone. Okay. Footprinting title you're asking for that. Think they have given the title for you, or you took that. YouTube title. So that means what exactly you're doing in that project. What is the sources you're using to do footprinting? So accordingly, you can mention the title. Means, for example, if you're doing multi-core basis or OSINT basis or using some open source services, accordingly to the tool base, you can make it as a title there. Hmm. First, decide with the tool base, then accordingly mention the title. It will be useful for you. I'm sharing the this thing in chat box, content. So just go through this, everyone. Hmm. Task and malwares, right? Discussed about this. That will coordinate by the team. So in a session, we'll perform some malware analysis. Okay, and we'll complete that part. So even go with the countermeasures also, if possible. So everyone, so I have mentioned that task. So make sure just go through that. Okay. Last session I have provided for you, right, in the chat box itself. Last session only I have given that. Even I have uploaded with the team also. So you have the portal, right? Everyone is having the portal, right? Set footprinting in the previous classes. You can go with that one also, fine. But use some alternate tools there. Because whatever I mentioned, take that as a reference and do it a new one accordingly. Use some alternate tool instead of that particular tool. Documents I have shared with the team in last session itself, and even I have shared with you guys in chat also. I think they have uploaded that in the portal, so please check that in the portal. I think you guys are having the portal access, right? Hmm. So new techniques to that as reference that you have told, and thank you. Yeah. Oh yeah, they have sent. Just check that, Prakash. I'll inform to the team to upload the documents. Okay, I have already shared with them, so they'll update that in the drive. So we got that project as homomorphic encryption, but we didn't know anything about it. Homomorphic encryption. Okay, we'll send a guide for you. They'll check that. We'll discuss that. Okay. All right. All right, guys. So thank you for attending the session. Have a great day. See you. See you in next session.